Alright, so the first thing that I really want to cover is mindset and attitude, right? So before we go into anything, we need to make sure we have the proper mindset, right? Proper mindset and attitude approaching anything. Because you can learn all these tactics, I can teach you guys all the skills and all the things that I've done, all the tricks and all that, but it doesn't matter if you still have a negative mindset or if you have the wrong mindset. Yeah, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter. So I want to spend some time, maybe a video, maybe even two, couple of videos working on this thing, mindset, okay? Mindset and attitudes. So before we do anything, I want you guys to realize that we all have negative beliefs, right? The world as we see it is literally not the way it is, right? Steve Jobs once said that once you start to realize that you can push something, right, in the world, you can push something and on the other side, something will come out. It's malleable. You can change it. Once you realize that the world is like that, everything changes for you, right? Most people, they have mindsets and belief systems put into them by the parents, the system, the education system, those in authority, and these are good. These are great. They're necessary for a functioning society, right? But in a lot of times, they hinder you, right? They cripple you more than they help you, right? It's all about knowing where that balance is, right? Society has invented all these norms and all these structures, superstructures they call them even, not to go too in depth and philosophical, but they have these structures, right, to maintain order, right? And an orderly society is necessary, right? But you have to know yourself, when and where is it too much, right? When and where is that order crippling you and crippling your mindset, right? So we all have these negative beliefs, positive beliefs as well, all kinds of beliefs, right? It doesn't matter what kind, but they've all been passed down to us by our own circumstances, our parents, our friends, our teachers, our environments, right? So I just want this video to really cover the negative beliefs that people have and how to break those negative beliefs down and replace them with positive and real, right, beliefs. Oftentimes people have negative beliefs. Oh, I can't do this. I can't. Why would successful people talk to me? Why would they want to bother? Blah blah blah. I'm only 19 years old, and not to toot my own horn or anything, but I've been able to get around some of the most successful people in the world, like multi-billionaires, CEOs, heads of industry. Like, I don't want to keep going on into that, but part of how I got to where I am right now, even though I'm nowhere where I want to be honest, is replacing negative mindsets, negative beliefs with the right positive mindsets. That's it. That's where it starts. And getting around mentors will help you with that. But you still have to take the first step. Right? How do you get around that initial fear? How do you get around that inertia of going out there? Finding mentors, finding great people, asking them to teach you. How do you do that? Right? So this is what I'm gonna try to assist you into doing. I want you guys to remember that everything we do here, and even in life, like, no one can help you. No one can do it for you. People can help you, but ultimately you have to lift the weights, right? If you go to the gym, you know that you can't. These muscles don't grow if you ask someone else to. Hey, can you make my muscles grow? No, it doesn't work like that. You can get a personal trainer, but ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to lift the weights, right? You have to be the one taking action. Yeah. Okay, so negative beliefs. Some of them could be your age. Okay, look, I'm too young. And if you're watching this right now, you're probably, under the age of 25. You're probably under the age of 25. And the most common negative belief that I see among young people, right, like you and I, maybe not if you're older, but among young people is, I'm unqualified. I can't. I'm inexperienced. Why would they spend time with me, right? That's true. Yeah. So I'm just going to list a few negative beliefs. I'm not going to say, just the first thing about a problem is to realize that there is a problem, right? So we have to identify the problem first. So age is one of them, gender is one of them, nationality, race, even, these are all considerations and all negative beliefs that people have in them. And some of them are true, don't get me wrong. But a lot of them are just artificial barriers, artificial, like things we just dream up and invent. Yeah, we just invent these barriers for ourselves, and that's the scariest part. Where 95% of people in this world, they don't realize that. They don't realize that, like Steve Jobs said, you can push on life and something will come out on the other end. Most people don't realize that they have that degree of control over their world and their life and their environment. Right? Of course, there's a limit, there's an extent to how much you can control, but it's definitely not on the one extreme either, that you can't do anything about your own circumstance. Right, so just to come back on track, negative beliefs about your past, maybe because something happened to you in the past, your previous experiences, right, bog you down. Right? And this is especially more true with older people, more true with people who have had a couple of years, who've lived a bit longer, you could say. And these are all pros and cons, right? But you have to recognize when your past experience is actually doing you more harm than good, right? When there's a brilliant opportunity and you've been burned by something before, right? This is where you got to know the balance, right? Is your experience worth learning from, or is it is it something that's crippling you? Right? So life is just all about ironies. But anyhow, negative beliefs, right? What beliefs do you have, right? Just think about it. So this is the purpose of this video. I just want to shed light on what kind of negative beliefs you guys have about yourself, right? Yourself, right? Mentors, your potential mentors, and external beliefs you guys may have are, maybe the economy is bad, or a big one I hear is, where do you find mentors, right? Where do you find people? Where do you find successful people? I live in a small city. There's no one successful around me. Somewhat, that is true somewhat to a certain degree, but these are all limiting beliefs. These are all actually just limiting beliefs that hold you down, that hold you back, right? And you guys need to realize this. So this lesson is for you to realize, think about what kind of negative beliefs you have. What negative beliefs do you have that are holding you back, right? And then the second thing I want you to do is to think about where you found those negative beliefs, how did they get to you? Okay, maybe your parents beat into your head, right? I hope they didn't beat you physically, because that would suck. But I hope, maybe your parents beat into your head that you have to go to university. If you don't go to university, you won't get a job. You won't be able to find a good job, you won't work, you'll end up a nobody in life. That was true back in the day, yes. 60s and the 70s and the 80s, yes, it was true. If you didn't have a university degree, things were really hard for you, right? You were at a disadvantage. But right now, things are changing. Yeah, it's still true to a certain degree, but it's not as true as it was before. Right? For me, I'm not pro. I'm not against university degree, because there's no certainties for these kinds of things. Right? There's no, everyone must do university. Okay, there are certainties in life, but a lot of things you can't just. It's not just black and white, right? For different people. But these are all beliefs and mindsets that are implanted into us by those above us, for good or for worse, right? So just think about what kind of beliefs you have, were they passed on to you by your teachers, your parents? What did they say to you? Did they say, if you don't have a job, blah, blah, blah? And the thing about me is, I realize that I have a lot of great beliefs that have been implanted into my head by my parents. My parents, they always told me, you can do something great, right? But you have to work for it. You have to read the books. You have to find the people. You have to be humble enough to learn. And at the age of 19, which is quite young, I realize that I see all these people, even older people in their 30s, even some of them in their 40s and 50s even. I talk to them, and then I realize they have these constricting beliefs, which have been passed down to them by someone or something or an institution or society, and it just holds them back. Right? It just holds them back. Yeah, and it stops them from doing things. They're afraid of failure. They're afraid of people talking against talking, it's sad to say, but if you're watching this video, hope you're not like that, and you probably aren't, because you've been able to take the next step, right? And the next thing is, once you realize, okay, what negative beliefs I have. What do I have? Okay, I can't get mentors because I'm young, I can't do this because I'm only 19. I'm only 18 years old. Hold that thought, okay? Hold that. Write it down, okay? This is part of the homework, okay? And then then the next thing is, what positive beliefs do you need to replace that negative belief with? Right? It's just like an addiction. Right? When you get addicted to something, it's like a habit, right? That's a better example. When you're addicted to, somewhat similar. When you have a habit, right? You drink coffee every morning or after lunch. It's a habit, right? Charles Duhigg wrote this great book, Power of Habit, and he talked a bit about this. There's 3 parts to a habit. First is the cue, right? The thing that sets off the habit. Second is the routine, which is the actual act itself, the habit. And then the third part is the reward, right? The cue, the actual habit, and the reward. These are things that make habits go. This is why people do the same things over and over and over again. Yeah. But the key to changing anything in life is to realize that you can change the habit, right? The reward should be the same. Let me give you an example for smoking. Smoking cue, maybe when you wake up in the morning or when you finish a meal, and the trigger, that's the cue or the trigger, and then the actual routine is smoking cigarettes, and then the reward. The third thing you get is the dopamine hit in the head. Once you realize that you can change the one in the middle, but keep the dopamine hit. Maybe you can get it from exercise, you can get it from somewhere else. That is the key to changing anything in life. Same thing with positive beliefs, right? You need to replace the negative belief, replace the negative habit with something positive. Because the reward is always going to be there. You can't change it, right? Your brain is always going to like dopamine. You're always going to need to eat, yada, yada, yada. Right? You're going to have to replace it with something. So you replace your negative beliefs with positive beliefs. Yeah, okay, for example, when I was starting out, I didn't think anyone would take me seriously because of my age. And this is a really common one, right? When I was seeking mentors. But I realized, hey, that is completely wrong, That was something that was limiting me. And I'll tell you why. Once I got into my head that, hey, actually people don't care about your age. Right? People care about whether you can bring them value, whether you're a good person. They don't care about your age. Thirdly is how your mental age. That's the third thing that they care about. When I was working for some people, one of my mentors here, this was last year, so I was about 17, 18 years old. And everyone thought I was at least 27 years old. So they, in the back of their head, they thought I was 10 years older than I actually was because of the way I carried myself, because of my mental belief that I had in my head, my confidence in my own self, right? And because of that, no one gave a damn that I was 17, 18 years old. They knew I was 17 years old when they asked, but no one really cared because I gave them the same value. I was as enthusiastic, right? And another thing about finding mentors, especially older people, right? Maybe in their 50s and 60s even, they love young people, right? That's not, I don't mean that in a weird way or anything, but usually, generally speaking, older people like to talk to young people. Just the fact is, but then you can ask, hey, Matthew, then why is it so hard? Because there's a natural generational gap. But you as a young person, if you just open up conversation, if you're open there, if you're receptive, if your attitude is, okay, I need to learn from the best, right? I'm a student. This is the student mindset, right? Once you realize this, everything changes. People start to come to you. Even now, when I go to networking meetings and all this kind of stuff, people come to me. Old guys, they come to me and they ask me to, connect. So it's almost like the roles are reversed. Initially, when you start off, you have to be the one reaching out. You have to be the one going to all the events, networking, and all this kind of stuff, right? But once you reach a certain limit, you don't have to do it anymore, and you shouldn't do it anymore because networking is getting started. But once you already started, you don't really need to continue with that. You just work on building your existing relationships. So that's where me personally I'm at the moment. I'm not finding a lot of new people at the moment. I'm just working on building my existing relationships. So anyway, what positive beliefs can you replace your negative beliefs with? Of course, you have to start off with your age. Start off with the negative ones. Could be age, could be gender, and usually there's 3 types of negative beliefs I mentioned just now. You personal beliefs, internal beliefs about yourself. You're not capable enough. You can't do this because of whatever reason, your past, your present, or your future, your family. And you need to realize that these things are all artificial, mostly artificial. Mostly, I'd say 95% artificial, right? And there's a reason to that. I don't know the reason. That's what you have to find out yourself. And this is very important because this is what sets the foundation for everything. If you don't have this mindset right, if you don't have the attitude right, you will not be able to do anything in this whole course. If you don't get this one video right, this video is actually pretty much, I'd say, probably the most important video in the whole, one of the most at least, important videos in this whole course, because it will set the foundation, right? And for me, you guys can probably realize, I'm nothing fancy. I don't have a super expensive video camera. I'm just recording this on my iPhone, and that's just me. But I'm going to teach you what I know, right? That's the most important thing. I'm teaching you everything that I know about finding mentors and learning from the best people. Yeah, and ultimately, I want you guys to also ask yourself, what do you want out of this? Out of this whole thing, what do you want out of this? Of course, I want to learn to find mentors, but why? Okay, ask why 5 times. Why do you want mentors? Right? Why? Ask yourself why, and the answer that you reach at the end of those 5 whys, write it down. Keep that somewhere safe. And at the end of this course, reflect on that and see if you achieved what you wanted. Right? This is important. Right? It's important to keep track and keep records and keep reflecting. Keep looking back, analyze, your progress, what you've done, where you've been, and where you're going to go. Yeah. And this is going to help you level up fast, level up extremely fast, faster than everyone around you is. All right. So this pretty much just to recap. You should have the right mindsets. You need to arm yourself with the right mindsets. Right? I talked a little bit about this in the training video, but you need to become a new person. Yeah, and you can use the tools that I've given you in my life handbook, and some of the tools that I've included to help you with that as well. Yeah, but for this video, I just really want you to do 3 things. Number 1 is write down on a journal. Right? You should be doing this on a physical journal, or if you prefer, you could use physical journal, or Microsoft Word or Evernote or whatever you use. I like to use both. I like to write it down and transfer it, take a picture, back it up. Do what works for you. I'm not strict on that. I don't care. First thing is write down wherever in your journal, what do you want out of this, right? This is homework, right? So this is what you're gonna have to do. There's no way for me to enforce this. This is basically how dedicated you are, right? First thing, number 1, what do you want out of this? Okay, what is the ultimate thing you want out of this? Ask yourself why 5 times. Why do I want to find mentors? Oh, because I want to be able to find a good job. Why do you want a good job? Because I want to support my family. Why do you want to support your family? Blah blah blah. Ask these questions, and the last thing you reach is your core driving factor. That's your core reason. Once you keep that core reason in mind, you know where you're going. And that will make everything easier, so much easier. Right? So ask yourself, what do you want out of this whole program? And don't say, oh, I want to learn how to find mentors, because that's just the first thing. Why do you want to find mentors? Yeah. And the second thing is, I want you to list out your negative beliefs. Right? I want you to list out all your negative beliefs you have, right, about you yourself personally, about your mentors. Or can mentors really help me? And the third thing is, I want you to list out any external beliefs you have. Maybe there's no people around me, there's no mentors around me, there's no mentors in my city, there's no great people here or there, or the economy is bad, or whatever it is. List all of them out. List your negative beliefs out one by one. where you can see them, where you can read them, and you can pinpoint where you got them from. Yeah, list out your negative beliefs and list out how you got them, whether it was from your parents, gender, past, present. Yeah, and then also list out your positive beliefs. That's the third thing. I want you to list out positive beliefs that you have right now and how you got them as well, whether your parents gave them to you or whoever gave them to you. List them out, and then I want you to for the negative beliefs, I want you to see how you can break them down and replace them with positive beliefs. I'm going to include a few resources to help you with that. But that's pretty much it for this video. Again, you guys are students, right? We're all students. We're students of life. Right? We're students of mentors. This is what the whole course is based on. Being a student of other people, right? Being humble enough to learn. Yeah. So throughout this whole course, I want you guys to realize that you are a student. Right? And even beyond this course, beyond this video, you have to realize that we're always learning. We're always a student, right? So that means we're doing a lot of listening, right? A lot of hearing, and a lot of seeing, and a lot of asking a lot of questions. Yeah, asking a lot of questions. Don't talk, you know. Don't talk if you're empty, but ask questions, thoughtful questions. And this is what you're gonna do not only for this course but throughout life. Right? So get your mindset right, get the attitude right, and then everything will fall into place. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.